I am the News Time Shuffling host, shuffling on down, doing the most. I'm so bad, I know I'm good, exploding your mind like I knew I could. I'm over here, just strutting for one, strutting my stuff for only one. I'm not here to start no trouble, I'm just here to do the News Time Shuffle. Chad's the name, the host with the most. My last name may be white, but I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I got news knowledge far and wide. I guess you could say I got white pride. The ladies love me as much as I love them. Hey, I didn't say you could go to him. No one bad's gonna get past me. Now listen to me, count to 3. 1, 2, shoot. Go to the hook. I am the News Time Shuffling host, shuffling on down, doing the most. I'm so bad, I know I'm good, exploding your mind like I knew I could. I'm over here, just strutting for one, strutting my stuff for only one. I'm not here to start no trouble, I'm just here to do the News Time Shuffle. Uh-huh. 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 As I said before, the name is Chad. All the ladies think this boy's bad. When I come into this house of mine, everyone bows down all the time. I can't dance, but I'll give it a try. I make all the children cry. When I move too much, the mic gets muffled. Now watch me do the News Time Shuffle. It's news time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White. Welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the football advertising news that you didn't know about or even wanted. If you live under a rock like a certain starfish, sweet victory, you might know the Super Bowl was last night. You also might know it was very, very lackluster. And I know because I saw it in person. Yeah, I went to the big game, no big deal. But the stadium was electric and everybody was excited to be there, so it was fun regardless of the low stakes. After 20 some odd years of watching the game on TV and finally experiencing it in person, you know the lack of the one thing non-sports fans only care about when it comes to the sacred day in February: commercials. Admittedly, those of us inside the stadium did see one or two of these high-budget spectacles, but they were mostly sponsors of the game, such as the Bud Light and Game of Thrones crossover. It shouldn't surprise you that viewership for the big game hit a record low, a 10-year low to be precise. As of reporting, the CBS aired version of the Super Bowl scored about 5% lower than NBC's version from 2018. It's also down 8% from CBS's last airing of Super Bowl 50 3 years ago. But with ad spots selling for about $5 million each, the sporting event is still the most coveted for advertisers. Last year, NBC predicted it was going to earn close to $500 million in revenue from both the game and the new episode of This Is Us that aired afterwards. In fact, Cantor Media suggested Super Bowl ad rates have jumped a staggering 87% in a decade. That's not to mention the increase in ads either. 2017's game saw 102 ad spots, whereas 2008's game only had 81. Total ad minutes for both of those games were 51 minutes and 30 seconds in 2017 and 43 minutes and 30 seconds in 2008. Ads not only count into the overall quality of a game, counted alongside the national anthem, halftime show, and game itself, but they can dictate how they and other ads around them are placed. Commercials are the most talked about part of the big game. Remember the Tide ad spots that may or may not have led to a bunch of dumb kids eating Tide Pods? Okay, cool. During last year's game, they aired those commercials featuring the dad cop from Stranger Things. Is he a dad or is he a cop? I don't know. I never watched that garbage. Tide purchased 100 seconds of time, with 90 seconds dedicated to traditional commercials and the other 10 focused on what are called billboards, which are shorter spots designed for quick glimpses of the product. Based on the information I provided earlier about ad prices for 2018's game being close to $5 million for a 30-second spot, that means the detergent-based company paid NBC at least $17 million for their time. Keep in mind, NBC was still selling commercial spots 2 days before the big game. Toyota purchased another slot. Even Squarespace competitor Wix jumped into the fray for a 30-second ad placement. Why? Because it's an easy way to expand the fan base. Yes, you're spending a lot of money in the short run, but it could pay dividends over the next few fiscal periods. Fiscal periods is the name of my band. Yet football itself has expanded past Sunday. Thursday night football, Saturday games, overseas games. Besides the droppage of cable subscriptions, there's no real reason for any company to hone their sights in on one day. That's part of why NBC wasn't able to sell out ad spots like it's done previously in the fall prior to Super Bowls of years past, which is why some years you get more than enough inter-network advertising. That's also the reason shows airing after the game do incredibly well. That and the massive audience lead-in. Of course, the Super Bowl may be shedding its audience year after year, but 100 million viewers is still 100 million viewers. This year saw the premiere of the James Corden hosted The World's Best, which I can only assume to be a pseudo-America's Got Talent ripoff. The show garnered 22 million viewers. Great numbers for broadcast television, not so good for past post-Super Bowl airing shows. According to this nifty list from the rap contributor Tony Maglio, other shows have done more massive numbers. None, however, as recent as 2014. Many factors could contribute to this. Look at Alias. It got the time slot in 2003 when the game was on ABC, but it aired at 11 p.m. after a high-scoring game. I'm sure everyone just wanted to go to sleep, or in Oakland's case, riot. True stories. It only nabbed a little over 17 million viewers. Compare that to Glee, which garnered 26.8 million viewers and aired a little after 10:30, or a bona fide hit such as Friends, which got a whopping 52.9 million viewers in 1996. Advertising is one of the most intricate styles of media. Audiences are always torn in different directions when it comes to where to put their eyeballs. Gross. One thing's for sure, they really don't like advertisements, but if ad people can trick regular people into watching an ad and subsequently enjoying said ad, maybe then they can sell a product. But and don't be one of those people who doesn't watch the Super Bowl but watches the commercials and thinks that adds a layer of personality. Because it doesn't. You're just a weirdo trying to fit in. Speaking of weirdos trying to fit in, why don't you be a weirdo and try to fit in by subscribing and check out one of our other videos? It didn't work out. Of course, you can always head to the website cpluscomedy.com where there are interviews as well as videos and other podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadLikeWhite. Follow us on Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Instagram at ChadLikeWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast. And I got this close to nailing this outro.